Looks like the common thread is just being a step too far and not hitting them.
Well, the end of the first half play, can you take us through that, both the play itself and also the decision? If you don't get it, they've got a good chance there. So a little bit of a risk to go for it. Kind of what that did for you guys.
Yeah, it was a great play. I think it's one of those things, if you got a good play that you feel comfortable with, that you want to shoot, and we liked what we had, and we hit on it, and it was a big play in the game.
What do you go to maybe to get a little more consistency with the offense? You struggled to start. You had that flurry of 17 points in 3:36, and then got the semi-struggle the rest of the time.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know. I would have, we'd score every drive if I knew.
Last week, obviously, you had some chances to extend the lead. Same thing. Did it feel similar, just in the sense of sort of struggling to put a team away?
Yeah, it felt very similar. We just, felt like we kept going backwards and, had, no explosives when we needed them, and we had the ball with a chance, and, that drive just felt like we didn't, do anything. Felt like we just kept going backwards and had long field position and long third downs, and it's not gonna, in this league, it's not gonna cut it.
So the running game really started to take off in the second half. How important was that to the offense finding success early?
It was good. It was really important. I think when we ran the ball on drives, we scored. So, that seems to be a common theme, and so we just got to find a way to, when we run the ball, get good, manageable positions, and then usually it got us first downs, and we went down and did well on the drive.
You got to move on from this quickly, but is it hard not to think, 2 games, last second losses? How much does that weigh on you?
Well, it stinks. It definitely is not fun. It's not enjoyable, but all you can do is go to the next game. I've never been able to figure out how to go back and change anything yet. I'm still working on that, but I think the most important thing is we got a long season ahead of us, and we just got to, instead of going back and changing things, all we can do is move forward and change them in the future and do things differently and find a way to, not let these close games fall in another team's hands.
Before the double move before late, it looked like the camera had you smiling a little bit. Did you sense, just based on the look, that was an opportunity for a big play before the snap?
The last one? We had run a few routes, in-breakers, stops, out-breakers, and we hadn't run anything that kind of set up something and then took off past them. We knew in all their coverages, all their shells, we would have a chance to go, step on the DB's toes and maybe outrun them, and we would have a chance at least at a vertical pass, and that's what we got. I thought the opportunity was there, and Cortland got outside on him and got going, and unfortunately, I just, missed in front by a couple inches, and then, if I had to do it again, I would have, taken a little bit more time, held on to it, maybe a count longer, and, gave him something to where he could go up for it, maybe get a pass interference.
How much do you like the confidence that Sean has in you to throw the ball in these important short plays?
Well, he's confident, but I also think, they were playing gaps on us, and it would have been hard to run the ball. So in a situation like that, your best bet is probably to get outside, because they had, a guy in each gap, and they were ready for, either a quarterback sneak or a run. And so they were taking away the inside in the middle, and we thought our best bet would go to the outside, and Cortland did a good job of getting over there on the over, and then he made a good catch and run. So and that's the one where that drive you have to finish in a touchdown. You can't kick a field goal and just feel like we got down there and then we just penalty moved us back, and then you're not going to score on a top red zone defense when you're moving backwards.
Well, how were those penalties corrected?
Well, honestly, not sure exactly. Not really paying attention even what they are. I just know we're going backwards, and our coaches will handle that. I just know, like, an offsides on the offense, like, I never really even knew that was possible, to be honest with you. But those things we just got to fix. It's accountability on us that we'll fix them, and we just can't have that happen.
14 completions. You didn't have a lot of big, huge plays. How would you describe their secondary do?
I just describe them in a shell that keeps everything in front of them. They intentionally do that. They stop the run. You know, we knew this was going to be the game. It was going to be underneath completions. We just didn't find as many as we'd liked. But we knew it was going to be, they were going to take away the shots. They were going to take away all the stuff deep. They were going to play a shell and keep everything in front of them. And we were going to have to run the ball efficiently and, you know, complete underneath passes. And, you know, really we didn't do either one of those two. So that's just, you know, goes back to execution, and we didn't do enough.
Just a few comments. Obviously, you know, a disappointing finish to a hard-fought game. We felt like it was going to be a game that was close to the vest. We didn't feel like the scoring would be high. There were a lot of things we did well, and then there were some things, obviously, we didn't do as well. We had too many penalties. I think our average third down on offense was 3rd and 11 plus, which makes it difficult. Then we had the swing, call it second quarter, third quarter. But a tough loss nonetheless. So credit them. Any questions?
Offensively in the second half, did it feel like similar to last week where you had chances to sort of extend?
Yeah, we got, look, we were in some heavy sets early on. We got a lot of, you know, run pressures, you know, that kept us from having success in some of the heavier personnel groupings. Then we found a little bit, certainly we found a little bit more success in the run game, you know, from some of the subgroupings. The penalties, though, the negative plays, those are the things that, you know, you only get about 11 of these drives per game, and that set us back.
To continually kind of take a 2-score lead, you know, this.
Yeah, listen, we had 2 or 3 opportunities right at midfield. You know, it's frustrating. You know, 2 good teams. You know, it was a tough loss.
The penalties were in all 3 phases of the game. How do you work on correcting?
Yeah, some of them, you know, we'll look at on film. I think there was really one behavior, and the rest were either technique or. But we got to be able to align correctly. You know, if we get a team to punt, and then we're in the neutral zone, or line up offensively and have a big play, and we're in the neutral zone like that, that needs to be cleaned up fast.
Ben Joseph talked a couple days ago about Justin Herbert using his legs. What did you kind of say on that game-tying touchdown pass in which you alluded to pass rush?
Yeah, I thought we did a pretty good job overall, you know, relative to caging him. You know, we dropped some coverages late in that game with the running back, you know, on a 30-some-yard play. But overall, I didn't feel like I thought we did a good job, you know, not allowing him to really beat us with his feet. You know, he's like Bo, where both of them can get yards running it. Yeah, that's what I'd say.
During a lot of games like this, these one-score games the last 2 years, what is the key, the comment to being able to finish? Like, because you're in.
Yeah, look, listen, this year's different. This year's different. You know, that was a hard-fought, close game. You know, we got to get ready to come back and play a national TV game Monday night against a good team. This team will. I thought we fought today, which was encouraging, and we knew it was going to be one of those games.
John, can you take us through the 52-yard touchdown pass from Bo to Portland at the end of the second?
4th down?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, look, you're looking for certain distances, hash marks, timing, and obviously it's somewhat aggressive, but the play requires, like, an aggressive defense too, and so we got that, and so you know, it was the right timing, and those guys made a real good play.
Sean, you talked about some of the long distances, you know, third and whatever. Was it more what they were doing, or did y'all keep yourself like?
Now, well, the penalties are what we're doing, but look, there are a handful of things. We'll look at the film tomorrow, and when I'm referencing minus plays that we'll be frustrated with, and tomorrow's an important day. Tomorrow's more important than the game we just played because we're in this accelerated, you know, we got to get better fast. And if we do, I think this will be all right.
You've got a couple of narrow overthrows. Is there a common thread to those that just typically generally?
It varies. Like the route at the end is kind of like a seam, almost a double move. And then look, the third and long flea flicker was close. You know, so you know sometimes if it's a double move, your eyes can betray you a little bit. But you know, he's putting. I thought he's throwing it real accurately, putting the ball in good places, protecting it.
What's the conversation with Bo after those, you know, the overthrown alarm?
Say it again. No, you know, keep slinging it. There's no conversation. You know, keep slinging it. You're the last thing you want is to. I mean, those are, man, almost spot on. So, yeah. A little bit to be aggressive, yeah. I don't know that we got a snap of man-to-man coverage in the whole game. We might have maybe on that short yardage naked that we threw to Sutton on the over route. I'll bet that probably was, not having seen it. So we got a lot more zone.
What's going to mean this game? There's a big emphasis of the defense not giving up the score first possession. They do score. How disappointing was that? And then how encouraged were you by the
Well, look, I thought those guys fought hard. And, I mean, at halftime, like this was the kind of game we wanted to be in, if that makes sense. It's a good team. We think we're a good team. And we'll see them again.
On Bo's scramble in the fourth, it looked
Say it
like
again.
On Bo's scramble in the fourth, it looked like he had at the sideline reacted. Did you have a good view of
Had a good view upstairs.
And there was, and because of the time, there's no chance you can go for it there. Too way too early, right?
Yeah, I mean, listen, we had a good review. He was short. I just felt like the way we were playing, field position mattered. Well, but I think it's we'll look at all of them. But I don't come in here feeling like, you know, the official. I mean, I come in here with like we got to clean these up, and so. But we'll look closely at them. Say it again. I still can't hear you. I think each week, we've talked about this before, it's not unusual for a player, coach, or someone to, you know, go back. You know, he was passionate, ready to play. He played well.
Could you talk about the decision that happened yesterday on putting Greenlaw on the IR?
Yeah, and fair question. We got to a point, and listen, he's been busting his tail. This will take a little of the pressure off. We could have done it earlier, and yet there was still, you know, there was a goal date, and it was either this week or next, and we felt like the last thing we want to do is have him come out too early and re-injure it. And George and I sat down with him. We spent some time discussing it, and now there's plenty of season left. So it was just something that we, obviously, hindsight, we could have said we should have done it. But at that time, the information was, you know, hey, this is 4 weeks away, but it's a little bit longer.
We talk a lot about the acceleration. Is there even a natural kind of, you know, sense of urgency, you know, knowing the Chargers are 3 games up in the division now? Just going
Yeah, listen, I get it. We're in the third week of the season.